Hey, darling. Let's go over predictions for 2023. Predictions. See, it's a bit of a trap question because talking about predictions for 2023, it's the wrong question to ask. It's fun, but it's wrong. And it's only for entertainment. And if you keep asking this question, you are going to be focusing your energy, your economic energy, your mental, everything is going to be focused to the wrong areas. There's a thread here from Jackie Boy Newald, and he's one of the threadors of crypto Twitter. He makes 200-page threads. He's become like a meme. He's one of the meme guys. So a lot of people here made predictions. And I want you to understand that when I see this and you see this, we only see it as a television show, a movie, entertainment. That's it, okay? We don't see it as edge. Because if you think there's edge here, you're going to get it wrong. I've been there. I've been in many times in my life. I have come across somebody who nailed something 100%. And I was like, that's it. This guy knows what's going on. Or girl. I listen, and then their 80 to 90% win rate, as soon as I start following, becomes 50%. Actually, their win rate goes really bad the other way. So if their win rate, quickly to draw here, okay, if their win rate is very high, okay, so there's 100% win rate and here's 0, yeah? If their win rate is high when I discover them, we are the euphoric top signal, okay, of their own performance. And then when we start following, listening to their calls, seeing how they approach stuff, as time goes on, they go down to like a 30% win rate. And if you average it out, you go, oh my God, you're at 80%, then you went down to 30, you average it out, you're about 50% win rate, okay? Over time, over the years, okay? Over the years. You might learn this the hard way, but I'm here to tell you, all your YouTube influencers. This applies to short-term trading, long-term swing trading, forecasts, prophecies, analysts, all this stuff. Okay? All of it. Very, very, very likely when someone has a super high win rate and then you pay high attention to them, it starts to come down. Because all it takes to trick us is just one good hot streak. Okay? So, Jackie here, he's got a nice thread, and he goes through everyone's predictions. Interesting, right? So, first one. So, Jason Yanowitz, he is a founder of Blockworks. You'd think, he's really, really deep in crypto. He's got a lot of connections. He's seen adoption come out. And a year ago, got 0 predictions right. 0. So, just to go to show you, man, someone can be very, very talented and see adoption around them, and see people coming in, and then people talking about all the things that they said they would talk about. It's now happening. It's very cruel to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you had your 60 days of fame after expecting this for 4 years. Now it's time to go back to the Shadowlands. It's very unrealistic for people to say that. But that's why the tops happen the way they do. And also, it's why the bottoms happen the way they do, just the inverse, okay? So, Jason here, man, he believed layer 1s would stay very hot. Wrong. Everything moves to multi-chain. Wrong. DeFi, new moment, didn't happen. DAOs 10x, no one cares about DAOs. Financialization of NFTs, no one cares. NFTs went minus 99%. The JPEGs were just the start. This is going to probably come later, but it didn't happen. A crypto company will acquire a big bank. GameFi goes mainstream. All the Ponzi's collapsed. Last one, corporate treasury narrative returns. Man, it was just to see. There are smart people out there like Jason here, and you're not stupid if you get these wrong. That's what I want you to understand. Because someone gets stuff wrong, they are not silly. You don't judge them. You say, what went through this guy's mind to make this prediction? And you know what it was. We were all here. You saw. Where's the chart, baby? Yes, you know what you saw, man. You saw this. That's what you saw, okay? You saw this. That what was going through everyone's mind. You saw a big run up, China scum try to send us a zero, and then we accumulate all year, bang, let's time to go for the next leg. That's what we saw. And we were wrong. Went to zero. Okay? That's what we were looking at. So you can't say, oh, you know, you're wrong or this or that. It's not like a wrong. There's no edge to get from this. You've got to learn. What was this guy looking at to get every single thing wrong? You know, in stock market world, I watch the stock market fake guru guys, and I learn, you know, how they deliver good digestible content and how they talk about companies. And sometimes they'll tell me stories of these random companies. You know, I don't remember the name. Doesn't even matter. Stocks, they're all Ponzi's the same anyway. But they'll tell me stories about how, like if you see a company now, there's stocks like, you know, Peloton or whatever. Like, let's just have a laugh. Like, I know we need a laugh sometimes. Let's go look at a laugh. Peloton, right. Man, this is painful. Yeah, a stock, man, a stock with a company and people. You sell bikes. All right, 94% down. So when they talk about this, you would believe that people are all stupid, okay? You would think, by looking at this chart, everyone's stupid. You're not asking the right question. You should be asking the question I asked. The question I ask is, what made them believe this was so good up here? What were they looking at? Right? Because you can't see the future. What were they looking at? And sometimes these stock market guru guys will say, man, you know, go back. They had 3 record profit months, you know, plus 60%, plus 40%, plus 80%. Okay? This is what was happening. They were actually making money. They were actually profitable and growing. Things were actually happening. And then it stopped. Big farty noise, okay? It stopped. When you see this chart, you think, oh my God, people are stupid. They just bought for no reason. No, wrong. They were buying for a good reason. They had evidence that something was on the move here. Something was moving up. The earnings, the company, the network was growing. And then it stopped. So this is why you have to really be hard on yourself and say, okay, the type of people joining into my crypto coin or whatever, you go back to my previous video. Is this attention grabbing? Is it like a car crash where everyone is driving along the motorway and they can't help but look at the car crash? And yes, you have attention here for those, 10 seconds, but eventually it's going to be forgotten tomorrow. Is it like that? Or is it like a religious cult experience which seeps into your everyday living and you're going to be talking about it 1 year, 2 year, 5 years later down the track? You can't know the certainty of events that will transpire, but but if you start thinking about it, you kind of get an idea. And you will make mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes, okay? That's why I don't like, you can tell who's like poor and not going to make it when they're like, oh, it's just so obvious it was unsustainable. Oh, it was just so obvious, yeah? Yeah, Bitcoin went up 6.5 million X. That's the type of person who would have said, Bitcoin is up 1,000%. It's so unsustainable, dude. And then it goes up another million X. Yeah? That's the guy who says SHIB after going up 400X. It's not sustainable, dude. And then it goes another 1,000X on top of the 400X. That's 40,000X. Okay? So you don't listen to them. Oh, it's just so obvious, dude. They don't know what they're talking about. They drink soy. They're in open relationships. You can't listen to them. That's the wrong question to ask. You never see a sports person, like let's say a great boxer. They don't say, if I was in the ring, I would have never hit that shot. I would have never take that punch in the face. I'm just so good. They never say that. They always say you never underestimate your opponent. Always. Every sport. Every field of competition. Never underestimate your opponent. And I will say the same thing too. Your opponents here are the guys trying to make money off you in the market. It's a game. Yes, it's a game. Who are your opponents here? Your opponents, they bought up here. Never underestimate them. Why did they buy up here? So you don't be doing the same thing as well. They were actually making money, okay? Let's go back. We're looking at all these events. It didn't happen, man. It did not happen. We had a macro crash. Okay, so we've got to think why. What was he looking at? He was looking at all the adoption coming in. And now we're going to do the polar opposite of this. So we had somebody who got everything wrong. Got everything wrong. And he wasn't looking, he's not stupid. He's a human like us. Probably a very smart guy. He founded Blockworks, you know. What was going on? Now we know what's going on. He was looking around him. His left, his right, his in front, his behind. He's like, oh my God, there is so much adoption. So many things are happening right now. Whoa. So many things are buzzing and creating. And yes, everybody's finally understanding. But ultimately, he wasn't asking the right question. He wasn't asking, of these people joining these specific things, are they here to join a religious cult, or are they just here for the car crash? If he was asking that question, he would have maybe changed half of these. GameFi. No one is religious about games. No one, okay? They always want the new version, new day. Some, very, very some rare, but they haven't been made yet. That is not a religious experience. That's car crash, okay? Corporate treasuries. Corporations are not religions, man. Therefore, the car crash. They're like, oh, what's the hottest trend? We got to try ride this, okay? That's a car crash as well, okay? Let's go back. Let's say corporations. Car crash. GameFi. Car crash. A crypto company will acquire a big bank. That is like a biggest car crash type of thing. These guys don't care. They're not religious about it. They're not religious at all. They're collecting USD. They're collecting fiat, the poo-poo. They're not religious at all. Car crash. Financialization of NFTs. This is a car crash too, friends. NFTs, you are buying JPEGs. Okay? You bought JPEGs. No part of you cares about crypto if you waited until JPEGs cost $10,000 for you to start paying attention. Okay? You don't care about the religious experience at this point. You're here for the car crash. DAO's 10x their VC investing. This is an obscure one, you know? You might have given you that. Yeah, DAOs, that could be religious. It could have happened. DeFi has a new moment. Maybe. That could have happened as well. So I don't fault you for that. Everything moves multi-chain thanks to breakthroughs in bridging tech and bridging UI. You know, this is like one of those maybes as well. L1 stayed very, very hot. Wrong. This was a car crash. BNB, Cardano, all these other coins. Woo! It was a car crash. You all knew it was a car crash. They were not religious experiences. Okay? Yes, on the surface they had like tags and logos, but no. It all came down to price go up first. Okay? They were there for the car crash. No religious experience yet. Okay? Maybe in the future. Right now, they were car crashes. So, I'm not saying we would have got all of these right. I'm just saying if we were asking the question, what I'm trying to see in the future, is it more going to attract a car crash, which is very short-term attention span people, or religious cult experience, which is lifelong shackles, which is what you want. That's the golden goose there, right? So you could have steered clear from this. So could you have made money, lost money? That's not the right question to ask. If you, on average, if you just think 1% better every year, you will be a better human. You'll make better decisions. You'll be a better game player. You'll help your friends, your family, everything. If we think 1% better about this, that's it, man. We don't have to say, oh, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. Wrong question to ask, okay? You start asking, is it a religious experience or is it a crappy car crash? Let's go to the king, GCR. So, I'm already going to tell you now, okay? Dangerous prophecy, but I'm going to call it. We're going to see the fall of GCR. We will see it. I don't know when, but we're going to see it. I can't even enjoy this. Yeah, everywhere I've been, macro, crypto, everything. There's always been someone at the top. Always. There's always a number one guy. There's always someone killing it. There's always an oracle who saw the last thing coming. There is. And no one remains an oracle forever. Sometimes, you know what's interesting? What's interesting is I've noticed, no names needed, but I've noticed some like influencers, people, okay, they were like really good at one point. They're like at 80-90% win rate, like killing it. And then their calls have a bit of a crack. They get like one thing wrong, one thing. And then when they speak, they kind of wrestle with the idea, like, hey, like, you know, like they go back. It's almost like they're in denial, right? They're in denial. Just like that, you know, the crypto phase of denial, where you go, oh, hit euphoria, and there's a complacency and there's denial. So what ends up happening with how people believe in their own forecasting ability is, in the denial phase, you'll often hear them revert back to their previous performance. And they'll be like, dude, you know, I'm still up like, you know, 6 out of 7 times. I'm still up, you know, X amount of dollars. I've still got like this many trades. Oh, I haven't, you know, I'm up like, of the 5 years I've been trading, I'm up like, you know, 40 months out of 45 or whatever, you know, or 41. All these things, they will go back and they will start to talk about their past. So you're learning this from me. I've learned this is probably a psychological phenomenon. Once we start hitting this denial cope area in our minds, our brain starts to like help us deal with the issue, and we start trying to remember, oh man, we were good, man. We didn't get here by fluke, you know, we're winning. Once you start hearing people talk like that, by the way, CEOs talk about this with their companies too, you know. It's like, oh, we survived the GFC and we got this far as well, you know, we've been through this and before. Like, you listen for it. This is on their super hot streak, okay? You know something's changed here. I've noticed it too, prophecies and forecasters, right? I wonder if GCR will have his moment there too, where he actually like breaks his third person and he says, you know, oh, I've been through this before. A lot of people doubted me. Like, something will change. Not yet. It's not yet. But, you know, I'm not trying to tell you after the fact. I'm here to try to get it early. So this is something about predictions. You know, what's going to come for 2023. He killed all of them. He absolutely smashed it, right? It's basically 100%. This one's just a useless guess, right? Don't even worry about this one. Okay, so local BTC bottom, 20K. Bulls think we are out of the woods after a muscular recovery. You got that right, man. You know, and don't look at people saying, oh, I didn't know FTX would collapse. Doesn't matter, man. The price moves first. News comes out after. Macro equities top in 2022. It does break the back of crypto. He got it, man. We have a long bear market. Most altcoins go minus. We definitely got this. Especially considering that the real retail top was April 2021. Okay? That was a real retail mania top. No one returned at the end of the year. That was just a fluff. That was nothing. That was a fake BS move. That was nothing. The real retail mania top, we got scammed. It was April, May 2021. That's it. It was over. That was the actual top. The bear market actually started in that China dump. That's when it actually started. Right? Stable coins. Their pegs break. Got that right. Exchanges insolvent. Got that right. Market becomes more inefficient. What does he mean by this? For example, the treasury yields are giving higher than DeFi. Like DeFi is giving like 1%. And treasury yields are giving 3 or 4%. No one has arbed that yet. That's because crypto is so undervalued. It's like ridiculously undervalued and inefficient. Sorry, I got it wrong. He says market becomes more efficient. Well, I'll just give you a big one of how it became inefficient in 2022. All right? More efficient, you know. See, this is where you're kind of vague, because this big inefficiency, this is huge, right? This is actually huge, because treasury yields, biggest liquid market in the world, but DeFi is supplying at 1 or 2%. Like, this is one of the biggest arbitrage opportunities ever. And no one's done it yet, because no one wants to be bothered to set it up, because we don't even know if crypto is going to be around tomorrow, right? And the gap will close pretty quick. So when he says market more efficient, you know, I will tell you the market gets more efficient every year. Every market gets more efficient. You know why? Because people go through an experience and they learn. So you can say this every single year. Every year market gets more efficient, you know? Like, we learned off the zombie virus capitulation, so we didn't have one now, you know? There's MEV happening, you know, on the micro part of the chains where people are front running. A lot of other stuff happened. People get smarter and wiser. They learn, okay, what worked in the last cycle? Okay, that might have edge. What didn't work? People learn. So, layer 1 season built on a house of cards. Got this right too. He knew he knew he could see. You all think this is a religious experience. You're actually dealing with a car crash. So he got all these right. But one day, man, even as the master, the king, Grim Reaper here, it falls. Your win rate falls. That's just it. It's what happens over time. That's why no one has been able to consistently crush the stock market over super long periods of time. And yes, I know you're going to say Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett has not beaten the stock market for the past 23 years. Since 2000, he's actually been in line with the S&P 500. You go check it up yourself. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? So basically, his returns were so big for the first 50 years that the last 20 years are still like grinding down and averaging it down. But has he been able to outperform S&P 500 for the past 23 years? Nope. Even though he absolutely murdered it. So yes, he's an exception where he lasted very, very long. Most people, they might do well for 3 to 5 years and then they drift downwards and go negative. And then after 10 years, they're like, oh my God, my rate of return is actually like 7 to 8%, which is actually the S&P 500 anyway. That's what people end up finding out. Your win rate ends up going down. So we want to think about what are the questions these people are asking, and what questions would have helped you. So obviously GCR can see you guys are all here for the religious experience, but you're all in a car crash. All of you is a car crash. You're all weak hands, all of you. None of you really care about your coin. You just here for number go up. All trash. So that's where his predictions were actually coming from. So what can we do to actually make money from this? Because, I speak a lot about this. And you want to know, like, all right, what's the money maker? What's the money maker? It's not so easy, man. You just say, what to buy, what to buy, what to buy. We've already gone through some coins that are forming religious experiences. So I'm going to quickly get just some logos up, right? I'm going to get some logos up so we can compare. You'll see me pasting these. Okay, we want to see this compare. Okay. So let's just have a look. There are other coins out there. Please share. Please share. All right. So we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a religious experience. Yes. But we know the gains are diminishing and we are in crypto and we're going to look for better returns. It's as simple as that. That's basically the index. It's going to slow down, whatever. Ethereum. So this is where there's one more big edge left with Ethereum. It's it's the last blue chip edge left in crypto for blue chip without actually taking risk like I do. And that is my ETH BTC prophecy. When Ethereum flips Bitcoin, I'm saying to you that, okay, let's get the chart out, all right? Let's get the chart out. Now we're going to talk dirty. When Ethereum flips Bitcoin at this price, 0.16 ratio, your friend Somi is saying that there are many people in Bitcoin who say they are for the religious experience. They believe that. But what I believe is when ETH flips it and makes Bitcoin rank number 2, I reckon many people in Bitcoin are going to be like showing us they have no clothes the whole time. They are actually there for a car crash. They have a short attention span. They were only there because it's number 1 and the leader. That's what I believe is going to happen. And what does that mean? I think ETH will flip BTC and we're going to have a big alt season from this point. Big one. I think the shackles of Bitcoin will be like taken off. Everyone's like, oh my God, what's happening? Bitcoin's now ranked number 2, and then all the memes will start. I'm ready for these memes, man. Bitcoin is now the altcoin. I was thinking about this in 2019. I was thinking about that here, literally here. That's when I was thinking about it. I go, man, there's going to be memes one day where everyone's like, haha, Bitcoin, you're now the altcoin. And they're going to do all the memes, the captain memes. The captain, look at me, I'm the captain now. They're going to throw that. I'm really thinking about this. You're thinking about, oh no, Genesis, oh, when are we going to go down? I'm thinking about this, okay? I think a lot of these people are going to flip. Crypto, 500,000 YouTube subs, had an interview. And they asked him, what do you think is going to happen? What would you do if you knew Ethereum was going to flip Bitcoin? And he said, I think there's a less than 1% chance that will happen. I think Bitcoin's a king will always be number 1. He goes, however, since you asked the question, in the unlikely event, my portfolio right now is 80% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum. If it flipped, I would switch that and make it 80% Ethereum and 20% Bitcoin. This is a guy who's literally been a Bitcoin maxi since here. He's literally been a Bitcoin. Isn't that funny? I'm just going to show you now on the charts. This is why charts are beautiful. He's been a Bitcoin maxi this whole time. Bitcoin maxi, Bitcoin maxi, Bitcoin maxi, Bitcoin maxi. And he might be here, and then we might actually flip. And he's like, okay, now I'm an ETH maxi. Okay? Look how funny that is. I'll put a rocket emoji here. He's going to become an ETH maxi from this whole time. His whole time, he's going to become an ETH maxi up here. After like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And I was like, dude, it's going to flip it one day, 2019. Okay? So you got to ask, how many people are really there for the religious experience? And Bitcoin is going to get tested. It's going to get tested once this flip happens. You know? Ethereum, the last final blue chip edge in crypto. ChainLink has a religious experience. Why? It's been going down for more than 2 years and people are still here. Okay? We're all coping. We call it Painlink. We all believe in the future. Okay? UniSwap. UniSwap has no religious people in here. I don't even know what they're here for. People like want it. People, you know, UniSwap, people. So I'm going to give these ticks. Okay? This is a religious experience, but we know it's diminishing returns. This is a religious experience that's going to happen. So people are going to leave Bitcoin and turn and make Ethereum into a religious experience. So there is that still edge left. Chainlink is a religious experience. Uni is not. They want it to be. I want it to be. I went to the uni forums, man. I was posting. I was talking around to people. Hey, we got to do this and do that. No one cares, man. 2020. No one cared. No one cares. It's all like really neutral, like, yeah, we gotta be nice to each other, guys. It's just, there is no religious experience here. None. That's why I would rather buy Chainlink than Uni, if I had to pick. But I still think Uni is gonna find a way to make it, because there's too many like insiders and bank type of people, right? AAVE. AAVE is potentially a religious experience, but it's not right now. So I'm gonna give it a cross. And also, AAVE is going to enter its third cycle. We know that's the curse prophecy. Okay? So religion. This is just a car crash, and this is just a car crash right now. These are no religious experiences. Okay? Hex. 100% a religious experience. Okay? So easy. You know it's a religious experience. PulseX and PulseChain are not out yet. They will be religious experiences too, because we know it's onboarded from the Hex community. You know, it's so obvious to us, but 99% of crypto community do not know that when PulseChain comes out, after a year is done, that the Hex community bootstrapped it. That the origin address got a lot of Hex money. Like, you can actually see that and go, okay, it's the same makeup, the same type of psychology of people who are in. Now, it's so obvious to me and you. We go, of course, PulseChain's a Hex community, dude. Where else would it come from? But eventually, this is going to dissipate with time, and this is our edge. PoorPleb. Very humorous. I believe this is also a religious experience. It's very new. Got into the sacrifice. I mean, you can get in right now. You are buying a 50% cheaper price than me. I dare you, go find an influencer out there who is as generous as me to tell you, I am offside. You can buy a cheaper price than me. None of them say that. They get in and then they shill after they're up like 5x so they can push it up another 2x so they can get out. That's what they all do. Because they know your friend. You know who's your friend. I'm your friend. We're friends. Okay? That's actually some like life advice, especially crypto investing. That's how you can actually tell someone's looking out for you. Someone like me. If they are offside in their position and they tell you, hey man, I'm bleeding, you should get in because you'll make more money than me. If someone can actually give you that gift, you should shed a tear. You're like, wow. I feel so connected to this person because this person is actually saying, hey, you can make more money than me, and I'm telling it to you. You know, I've known so many selfish people in my life that would never, ever, ever say this, ever. They shut their mouths and they wait for it to recover and they wait for the price to go up again after it's up, and then they tell you to buy. I promise you, not once, twice, like over 10 times this has happened to me. Over 10 times. Over the past 10 years, this has happened so many times. And that's how you know who's scum or who's actually your friend. That's a real measure, okay? So, we've gone through all these predictions. We've seen these people. GCR, he got it right. What's going to happen? What's going to happen for the next year, you know? let's just quickly, a final message. What's going to happen for the next year? You know, if you make the candles 12 months, you don't have to predict much. You go, okay, I think it's going to be a green candle. That's it. That's all you got to do. You know, I think it's going to be, see how easy it is when you have a long-term trend, you know? When you have a long-term trend, you go, okay, I just think it's going to be a green candle. What if we start playing into the weeklies, you know, oh, do we break the low? You know, do we go up and then retest and break the low? Like, we don't really know. That game and those predictions, too hard. We're going to remain, you're going to remain an open book here. This book has text and it's open. I don't even like to talk about these predictions. Don't put them in your mind. We've gone through others. It's just a show, okay? I don't even want to say, oh, layer one's going to go up and then this thing's going to go down and this thing's and whatever. Don't think like that, man. Once you start thinking like that, you look for reasons to verify if it's true or it's not. And then you get tied to it. I'm an open book. You know, if you watch my videos, what I'll always say, okay, scenario 1, we go to 0. Scenario 2, we go up. You go, okay, if we go to 0, is there anything telling us right now that we're going to go to 0? I can't see it. Okay, so we can't avoid that, right? So you got to be long, okay? So in this, you're L for long, okay? If we go up, is there anything saying we can go up? Yes, a lot of evidence that crypto is still growing. Okay, you got to be long. So in both worlds, you're long anyway. You see how simple that is to think about it? So don't misinterpret this as just being like a redacted person who doesn't know what they're talking about, okay? This is for your own safety and your own good over the long run. So, predictions and what goes on, stay an open book, man. We stay an open book. I don't want to talk about layer 1s, layer 2s, or whatever. All we know is, there is for everything, there is a price too low and there is a price too high. That's all you think about, okay? There's a price too low and there's a price too high. And that's how we're going to move into 2023. So no matter what happens, we're going to be armed with the tools necessary to act.